Greetings. I'm listening.
Great to meet you.
I've been expecting you.
For the good.
You come get the voodoo.
Hey there. And you are?
Light be with you.
You come to consult the spirits?
Welcome to Orgrimmar. Have you come to serve the Horde?
Shiny. Sail here. Me buy and trade. What?
Sail here. Me buy and trade. What?
Hello and welcome to Control Alt WoW, the podcast for those of us who love World of Warcraft and love making many alts. Today is Monday, July 29th. And this is episode 624 entitled 8.2.5 PTR already. I'm Aprillian, your host, and with me today is my awesome co-host, Grand Nagus. Hello, Grand Nagus. How are you?
Hi, Aprillian. I'm doing fine. I'm like being oiled, cooked. I don't know, in this office of mine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a little bit warm, but thank goodness I have air conditioning.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit stressed out because my landlord is coming, or my maintenance people are coming tomorrow to do the pest control thing, which obviously works because I don't have pests, but they demanded that I remove everything under my sinks, my bathroom and kitchen sink, and on the counter. So now I am busy, just
reorganizing.
Prettying it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some crazy stuff. I had 2 empty gallon milk cartons under there because I always thought, in case of the apocalypse or something, I want something to put water in.
Yeah.
So I had to chuck those, but I'll get new ones, and in case there's an apocalypse. And just the fact that I worked overtime yesterday really kind of drained me. When you get your check, overtime is great, but the actual doing, so I worked 6 days in a row. This was my only day off, and then I got to go back to work tomorrow. But in 2 weeks I'm on vacation, and it's a staycation. I want to give a shout out to Constructs. It's his 13th anniversary. Happy anniversary. Oh, were we allowed to mention that? Yeah, I'm sure that's okay. And so he won't be with us, but he's here in spirit. If anybody's watched The Life of Brian. I want to do a special shout out because I'm trying to get my allied race. And I am the epitome of the noober player. So I haven't been doing all the things in the Broken Isle I should be doing. And he did kind of help me out, try to figure out where I am. But we'll talk more about that in my section. What do we have going on this week?
We have in game.
Yes.
We have.
Or what's going on in your life? Are you doing anything special? Did you?
No, not really. I had to go. I wanted to, obviously, as well. My cousin had his 50th birthday, or one of my cousins.
Oh, congratulations. It's so funny how relative age is once you start getting older. I remember so clearly when my oldest sister turned 25. I remember thinking, oh my God, she's 25. Her life is over. I was 17 at the time, and I thought, my God, she's not going to have any more fun. She is officially an old person. Now, 50 is a baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And yesterday, I don't know if he'll never hear this, but shout out to my dad. He turned 90. I know, wow. And he retired the same year I started on my job. So in January, I'll have 30 years, and he'll have 30 years of retirement. And like you, he was a mailman, which is funny because there's a lot of mailmen in my little circle, or retired mailmen. So, yeah, shout out to him for 90 awesome years. What else do we have going on?
We have, in the game, we have our World Quest bonus event starting tomorrow.
Okay.
That is 50% increased rep for doing World Quests. So if you still don't fly in your BFA or anywhere else, and you want to grind rep doing World Quests, you gain 50% increased rep in all the world quests.
And that's
so
big.
Legion,
That's really big.
Legion
Yeah.
and BFA, and since Legion rep for world quests is increased by 100% anyway, because they want to make it a little easier, you essentially get 150. I don't know how they calculate it though. I've never specifically looked for it, but I would imagine that they add the 50% of the 200%, so that's going to be basically 300% of the original amount. So that's for all the people that still don't have the flying in Legion. There is really good amount of rep to be had there. The Kirin Tor Tavern Crawl is taking place on the 31st, so that's Wednesday. Wednesday. I still haven't done that micro holiday, but
is there an achievement?
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't done it. It's something about visiting various inns and drinking, and something like that. I've been told. I'm not really sure. Also, our all-time favorite event is starting next Sunday.
Dark Moon Fair.
The Dark Moon Fair. It's back. And then we have the LFR Wing 2 of the Eternal Palace raid, of the new raid opening. So that's Wing 2 of 3. And then 2 weeks from now, the last wing will open. So that's when you're going to be able to defeat Ashara on LFR difficulty as well.
Gotcha.
We had in other news, we had the Mythic World First race end, I think, on Saturday, where Method defeated Ashara on Mythic difficulty after 2.5 weeks of bashing their head on that raid. So congratulations to them. I'm not sure as to if there are any other guilds that made it so far. I've heard that apparently Limit has gotten there as well, but I'm not sure, so I won't confirm that. In other news, just before I started my stream tonight, I was in another streamer's chat room, and there was talk of the B mount. Everyone was talking about the B mount for quite a while, because we have the B quests in Kultiras, and we have the B pet, and there was this persistent rumor going around that we would have a B mount, because we have a B taxi mount already.
Right.
So someone was saying it was got something to do with a secret mount, like the lucid nightmare, like the hive mind, like all these secrets to uncover. And but no one really found any proof of anything. So the rumor came up and went away
Now,
again.
is this through data mining or?
No, because what I am referring to now is just today. Blizzard released the new 8.2.5 PTR development notes. Hence the title of the show today. So I'm going to give a brief overview over what the development notes say. I'm not going to read the text for all of the things because most of them are self-explanatory. Just the things that are need a little more explaining and clarifying, I'm going to go a little more into. That's 3 of the 6 topics that they talk about in the blue post. So here goes. First up, we have Worgen and Goblin character model updates.
Oh, cool.
So that is going to be the last bunch of player characters, races that are going to need an upgrade from the original to the one with the everyone or people referred to the Pandaren level of upgrades or models commonly when they talk about the model upgrades. So that's the level that we're going to get for the last 2 races, the Worgen and the Goblins. Second up, we have the 15 years of World of Warcraft celebrations that start, as always, in November. In this case, I think it starts a couple of days early. I'm not totally sure, but this November marks the 15th anniversary of World of Warcraft.
Wow.
And we have some special things planned to celebrate the occasion. Players who log in during the event period will receive a celebration package in the mail with Lil Nefarian pet, which is like I would guess a little dragon whelp, much like little Deathwing was before, or and some other in-game goodies which are not specified yet. Throughout the duration of the event, you will be able to participate in 3 unique raids with iconic encounters from past expansions, along with an old-school inspired Alterac Valley battleground. Players who defeat all 9 bosses in the raid wings will receive the Obsidian Worldbreaker, a black dragonflight mount.
Oh, wow.
Inspired by Deathwing. So you will basically be able to fly on Deathwing.
Wow.
Players who participate in Alterac Valley will receive a new anniversary event currency, which can be exchanged for 2 new mounts. The Storm Pike Battle Charger for the Alliance and the Frost Wolf Snarler for the Horde. So that is pretty epic, in my opinion. 3 obtainable mounts and 1 pet. That is, I mean, yeah, and we don't know what the other additional in-game goodies are. maybe a toy or something. I'm just guessing here, but that would be logical, or a tabard, or a cloak, or something along those lines of things we've gotten before.
Right.
Next up, like I've talked about before, is a fuzzy buzzy mount, which is referring to the B mount. Basically, what the text says, and I'm shortening this, is that that the rumors are true. We're going to be able to obtain a B mount through doing some quests. So no.
We're talking about bee as in buzzing.
Bee as in buzzing, yeah.
Yes,
A bee mount.
it'll fly, maybe even look like a bumblebee kind of thing.
It is a bumblebee type of thing, yeah. Next, we have a new Timewalking Raid. Remember, we have the different Timewalking expansions. We have the raid that's been introduced. The first one was with the Burning Crusade, was the Black Temple. And then second, we got the Timewalking Raid for the Wrath of the Lich King, which was Ulduar. And now it's time to get a new raid for the next one up, and that's obviously next in line is Cataclysm. And
Makes sense.
And the Timewalking Raid we're going to get there is going to be Firelands. So you will be able to defeat Ragnaros on a Timewalking level. You will be able to get your staff, your Terragosa's Rest staff during that. So if you don't have it yet and you intend to complete the thing, that is a way to do it. Not the easiest way, but I'm not sure if the loot options are different, if you can get additional loot for it, but that all remains to be seen.
Right.
Next up are two things that are really interesting. I hadn't thought about. Let's go with the not so interesting one first, and leave the suspense a little for the final one.
Right.
The next one is Recruit a Friend returns.
Ooh.
Remember they turned it off a month or two ago, and they said they were going to revamp it.
Right.
So here goes. Coming in 8.2.5, which is a fair bit of time out. It's not going to happen like next week or something. So, because we just got 8.2. So, but yeah, coming in 8.2.5, and it still doesn't mean that 8.2.5 will have this return of the Recruit a Friend at launch.
Right.
It's just going to happen
Sometimes.
sometime
Yeah.
in the time period that 8.2.5 is up. If you have active time, sorry, one second. That's itching in my throat.
I hate when
If
that
you have
happens.
active game time, you'll be able to recruit your friends, both brand new to the game and recurring champion, to share in your adventures. To do so, you'll be able to use the new URL generation tool to create a custom link to give to your friends. By following the link, You'll be connected to each other and will be able to see if they have purchased game time, resulting in rewards for you. For each month your recruits have active game time, you'll earn a new reward, such as unique pets, mounts, game time, and more. These rewards unlock per month and scale with how many months your recruits have subscribed for. And of course, and now we come to why I left the last point for last, because this one refers to the other. And of course, with Party Sync, you will be able to journey with your friends on any of your characters. We'll have more information about Recruit a Friend rewards when we get closer to its release. Now you might ask yourself, what is Party Sync? I've never heard that term before.
Right.
Well, neither had I. So here's the last big thing, the biggest thing in my opinion with regards to news. And that is introducing Party Sync. During this PTR, we're experimenting with a new mode that makes it easier for players in a party to do quests and play together.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Party Sync. When players activate Party Sync, everyone in the party becomes aligned to the same quest state.
Ooh.
Including phases.
That's awesome.
By mousing over a quest in your tracker, you can see who is on the quest, what their progress is, and who is ready to turn in the quest. There's something else we're going to try out on the PTR. A replay quest feature.
Oh.
This will allow players who have already completed certain quests
to do them again.
To replay those quests with their friends for rewards that are appropriate to their current level, regardless of the original level of the quest.
Interesting.
We're also relaxing level restrictions on questing for instanced content with your friend. This allows lower level players to queue for content in their level range, and higher level players
to join
can choose to join them by having their level scaled down while they're in the instance. This feature will be available for dungeon instances for PTR Week 1, with PvP instances being flagged in the following weeks. Please note that unlike Timewalking, when your level is scaled down via Party Sync, you will temporarily lose access to abilities and powers. Such as the right traits, which require that exceed your reduced level. This is a awesome thing. So, if I choose on my 120 Warlock to come and join you in your level 15 dungeon.
Right.
To help you. You just think level 15 is when your dungeon leveling progress theoretically begins.
Right.
I will be scaled down to level 15 and only have the abilities that a level 15 Warlock has.
Interesting.
Wow. This
yeah.
is what so many people have not demanded but asked for.
Right.
This is absolutely awesome. In my opinion, this is like the next level of scaling and the way they should have done it in the beginning. And I mean, they say they are experimenting with a new mode. So I'm not, of course, we never know how it's going to turn out, if they're going to postpone things and stuff, but the mere fact that they are thinking about it and flushing it out in the way that they do it tells me that they are kind of really, they want to do it. And they want to make the game experience better for us, for the replayability and the party aspect of it, so you can play with your other friends and you don't have to like rush through a dungeon. You can have fun. You don't need to have create a new tune just to be able to play at some random level and level a tune to say level 64 when your friend's tune is at level 64.
Right.
Something like that. So in my opinion, that is something that is really cool, that you can really specify, or that you can attune yourself with other players. That is really something that
Which is one of the beauty of World of Warcraft is playing with other people.
Yes.
And with everything being phased and things changing, this is really big and it makes sense.
Like I said, for me, this is the biggest news of everything I just gone through. The biggest aspect of it all is party sync feature. That is so big. And one thing that I like about it is that it's rewarding for the higher level player as well. Like they said, where is it? You can replay quests. This will allow players who have already played
to help out a friend.
Yeah, to complete those, and they will get rewards that are appropriate to their current level, regardless of the original level of the quest. So if I go in and help you with a level 35 quest that you can do, and we have party sync on, I will get a reward that is
appropriate for you.
Appropriate for my 120 character, even though I only play at level 30 something.
Right. Gotcha.
So and Matterhorn in the chat room. We have Matterhorn and we have one tired player in the chat room.
Hi.
Welcome, guys. And Mather says, looks like I might have to refer myself again. Yeah, that pretty much looks like it. And apparently, if you continue to keep the referred account active, you get more and more and more rewards, apparently. And that is something that is new as well.
Right.
The longer your referred friend or the character that, or the account that you referred to, that's when it stays.
So you're not being penalized for not being at the same level as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's just a little news from the game, from outside the game.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get started.
Let's do that.
Oh, excellent. Oh.
How you doing?
I get excited. I get giddy and love making mini alts. My dog is trying to poop for the Horde and for the Alliance. It was funny in my head.
Brilliant. How was your weekend, Robin?
Ups and downs. First of all, I reached Exalted with the Night Fallen. Yay! Oh, now I can get my allied race. I'm so excited. Oh, nope. There's a whole quest train that I still need to do, and I'm in the middle of figuring out. Apparently, I did not complete everything I was supposed to do with my tune that was doing the. I missed some quest, and I realized it was stupid. It was the Masquerade quest. So, I'm doing what every good player does when you can't go any further and you're trying to figure out why haven't I started this quest train? I got the whole list from the achievement thing. I've got it checked. I'm supposed to be doing Insurrection. Why am I not doing Insurrection? Okay, you want to know why? Because I look at the videos and I'm like, wait a minute. Why in this video is Shalaran all full of people and doing all sorts of things? Oh, apparently I've skipped over a whole bunch of things. I haven't planted a tree. I haven't done this. I haven't done that.
Oh, okay.
The only good thing about all of this is that I'm still getting a rep for Nightfallen. So as I continue to get rep, if I get to 10,000, I get a Nightfallen cash.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you know me. I don't go the normal route. I don't play at the same speed. I don't listen to other people when they're talking about what they're doing, so I miss out on a lot. But I'm still having fun, and I was very exciting to become Exalted finally. I want to shout out to Constructs because he did take me flying around and made me realize what my problem was. And a shout out to everybody who does a YouTube channel because, that really, really helps when you're looking at the video. Like the other day when I went to do the spider thing and I couldn't figure out how to get there, I followed the YouTube video, saw the path down into the tunnel, into the lair, as it were.
Yeah, with the ley lines and all that stuff, and with the portals and all that.
Yeah, I haven't done the portals. Right now, I'm doing something with capturing a whole bunch of shadowed people. The other thing I'm doing, and I haven't figured out why it's not working for me, but and I don't know if I should say it out loud, but Tia is the head of Clan of Darkness, but I haven't played that account for a while. Since March 31st, ironically, that was my birthday. So,
okay.
What am I doing wrong where I can't take over? Oh, does it have to be 90 days exactly now instead of 30? So, what I think I'm going to do is pay for a month of Tia and then I'm going to transfer ownership to April. Because that's the one I play more than anything. So I'm figuring out, oh look, Shalaran is getting lighter. It's getting brighter, so obviously I'm moving along that quest line. I was very proud of myself the other day because I did the barrel thing.
Yes.
One time I did it, and I don't even know where the add-on came from. It must have been included in a package. But there was like a little light that shined, and I could pick the right barrel. Well, this time I didn't have that add-on, and I, after like 4 tries, I finally picked the right barrel, and I tell you, that was very exciting, very satisfying for the 350. I really want to play more tunes, so I'm hoping that once Aprillian, does all she can and get the Nightfall erased, I'll get to play something else. In fact, I think once that happens, I'll dual box another race with my new Nightfallen race.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that. And I don't know how I'm gonna feel once I leave Suramar. I feel like I've been here so long.
You don't have to leave it permanently. You can just come back, and you can. What I tend to do, or I've started doing Suramar on my little gnome rogue as well. But I'll talk about that later. So I think that, in my opinion, Suramar is one of the the best zones in the game.
Cool. And that's been my week. I'm really tempted to start a Green Man tune because I like that whole idea of Green Man. But I just gotta get this. I just want an allied race. That's all I want. And I've been reading some of the responses on certain videos, on YouTube videos, and I guess some people don't understand that, it could be easy just to unlock a race and have it, but, this is, once I do this, I will feel like I accomplished something.
Yep.
I know what the other thing I wanted to talk about. In Suramar City, there are these people, and I feel so stupid that I just figured out, who want some mana, what do you call it? Ancient mana. And I just figured out that I can stack it. Maximum health increased by 20%, while in the Broken Isles stacks up to 5 times. It's called empathy. I was just giving them mana because I could click on them and they seemed sad, but it was nice that I got something in return. And I'm looking for.
There are a few different things. One is the buff.
Right.
One is the there is like in some of the caves there are these little turrets.
Right. And then you get a ball that you click on, or you click on that, and you become like translucent.
And then there is when you go into Fell Soul Hold, the area that is fell infested, the western part. That
little pit.
Yeah, Fell Soul. Well, it's not so little, but okay, that's Fell Soul
Hold. Yeah, it's a pit. Yeah.
There are some cats
that will fight with you.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if you come there with a level 110 tune sometime, when you do your next tune, go through there, you can give those, you can unchain those cats, free them, and they'll help you.
That's kind of nice too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still in Suramar. Maybe next week I'll have my my new tune, my new allied race to start.
Is that the only thing you still need? Is the
Insurrection?
The story progression? Yes.
Right. So I think I can get there this week. And I'm feeling kind of silly because I went to buy a monthly. Because my thing is I don't buy the subscription. Although, since I did overtime yesterday, I think when I get this paycheck, I might put Aprillian on the 6-month subscription. Because she's the one I'm definitely going to be playing. And then I'll get that mount.
Yeah.
Right, so that'll be nice. All right, well, wish me luck.
I only pay... My main account is on the 6-month, and the second account is on the 3-month. I'm not sure if I'm going to change that to a 6-month as well, but for now, at least my main account has been on the 6-month for quite a few years now.
Right. All right, and that's been my week.
Very nice.
I find it very, very easy to be true. Am allerschönsten war es doch zu Haus, und doch zog mich einst in die Welt hinaus. Und in der Ferne suchte ich mein Glück, wer kennt den Weg zurück.
And now it's time for Addon Spotlight and a whole bunch of other stuff with Grand Negus. Grand Negus, how's your week in WoW going?
My week in WoW has been challenging.
Challenging good or challenging bad?
Challenging as in I've played a whole bunch of challenge tunes.
Oh, awesome.
And former challenge tunes.
And we do want to give a shout out to Stone.
Oh, definitely.
WoW Challenges is what makes it all possible to do challenge tunes. Prior to this, if you don't know the history, WoWchallenges.com. The original owner, I think, gave up. And Stone took over, and he's doing a great job. And you can also listen to him and Lita.
And Lita, yes.
At WoW Challenges podcast. So thank you for giving us a new way to play. And he's expanded it. It started out with just Iron Man, and then Tin Man, and then Pacifist, and then Green Man. So it's giving a new life to the game that we love. But go ahead. What were you doing?
Let's first get the Addon Spotlight out of the way.
Okie dokie. And they've done a lot of updating. Bravo to all the add-on authors out there for all the updating you're doing, because I just recently updated on my Twitch account and it was like a bunch. So
yeah, and updating is what I want to get into today, because I want to, rather than give a add-on of the week, I want to give an add-on tip of the week today. With the upcoming classic World of Warcraft, which is not even a month out.
Right.
It's less than a month now until we get classic. Wow. So with that, and the developers, the authors of the add-ons, some of the add-ons will be or will have versions that go with or that work with classic as well. Others will not, and again, others will have dual functionality,
right?
Which I've seen already. I've seen a couple of add-ons that I've tested when we were doing the stress test, I installed a couple of add-ons that I thought was going to be, I wanted to see if they worked, and I searched for the term classic in the Twitch client search window, and it gave me a couple, and I got a couple from another site as well. So, long story short, if your add-ons that you update now for the retail version don't reflect the current patch version number. So in this case, at the moment, we are in 8.2. And some people they look for a update or look for a new add-on, and they go with, this has a version number that is not 8.2. So that means it's not up to date. That's how some people might think, and I would think that as well. Now, like I said, with upcoming vanilla classic version, those numbers don't necessarily work anymore, because for the add-ons that have the dual functionality, meaning they are working in classic and retail,
Right.
and they only have one file, one add-on, and you can install them in both games, and they work in both games.
So I'm thinking something like Arc Inventory.
I'm not sure as to which one, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
Which version would you display? Because you can only have one.
Oh.
Do you write in your column as an author? You write works with 8.2
Right.
or 8.5, or do you write 1.13, which is going to be the version number of classic? Which one do you choose? Neither will be all-encompassing because it's only going to reflect one.
So they're mutually exclusive.
Yes, of course,
Right.
because there's one file that fits both, and you can only encompass or identify one in the column, in the add-on search. So, and some add-on creators have even gone and listed a totally different version number. I remember there was one. Let me just quickly look at it. One add-on says 8.0.1. One says 3.3.3, which doesn't fit either.
Right.
So there are. So again, to make a long story short, if you want to install a add-on, a new add-on, or if you get a upgrade, a update for a add-on that you've already installed, and that patch version number doesn't correspond with the client that you want to install it on, go ahead, install it, check it out. It might surprise you. It might work.
It might work, right.
It might work as intended. It just doesn't reflect the game version.
Right.
If it doesn't work,
Then just uninstall it.
you can always go to click on the list on the add-on. It will take you to the add-on page, and then you go all the way to the right. Up top you have the name of the add-on, then you have the overview, changelog, screenshots, and versions tabs. You click on the versions tab, and then it'll list all the versions of the add-on that have been released and that are supported by the client. And what you can do is you can just, by clicking on the very right side, the tab that's called Actions, there is usually the top entry is the one where it says installed, because that's the newest version, and logically you would surmise that that's the one you have installed. If you have an add-on that doesn't work with the updated version, but worked before, go to the next release version. It says file type. The second from the right says file type. And if it says release there, you can go and click on in the Actions tab, or the way to the right, on the downward arrow button that says install. And if you click on that, it will automatically update or downgrade, or whatever you want to call it, install the older version that you clicked on to be installed. So you can roll back the update, so to speak. You were always able to do it. It's just something that not many people know of that possibility, that you can just go and uninstall or reinstall older versions of an add-on. There are, I have add-ons that have 30 older versions or whatnot, and there is still a button at the top, at the bottom, that says load more. So there are even more, a longer list that is just not displayed. So you always have the option to reinstall an older version if a add-on that doesn't work after the update, if you want to check if the older version still works.
Right.
So, and the same thing is, like I said, with the chance that it's working as intended with a new add-on that just doesn't display the version, the game version number properly, because they just can't decide on one of the two clients.
Right. So it kind of gives you an option.
Yeah. So just a little add-on tip there for you guys.
If the number doesn't match, it doesn't mean it doesn't work.
Exactly. As for my week, like I was saying earlier in your segment, I am working on Suramar as well. And like I mentioned a couple of weeks back now, I'm working on the Balance of Power achievement, which gives my artifacts a new appearance. So I want that for some of my characters, and I'm going to go through that on a couple of characters, starting out with
now, can you fly in Suramar?
I can fly in Suramar, yes.
Yeah, that makes such a big difference.
That it does, yes.
Yeah.
Now, my progress at the moment, I am working on, or I need to run Neltharian's Lair on Mythic, of course, because all the dungeons that are quest requirements need to be run on Mythic difficulty, so the highest dungeon difficulty. I got a few achievements by doing that, some that I didn't have at all on my account, some that I had but not on this character. So I got the Maw of Souls and the Wardens, Court of Stars, the Archway. Those I ran on Mythic difficulty, so I got the normal version achievement. I got the for the ones that have normal versions. I got the heroic and I got the mythic, all three in one. So there are a couple that are only available for heroic and mythic. So those are only two then. Because there aren't any normal versions of some of them. In addition, I got a Spectre Illuminated, which is a very interesting achievement where you need to go into the Vault of the Wardens, and there is a light mechanic where you need to expose certain mobs at the end, at the final fight, and you need to light and expose certain mobs to be able to defeat them. If you just walk up to them, you can see them, but you can't attack them.
Oh.
So someone in your group, or yourself, obviously, because you are part of the group, needs to pick up a light from a statue and run around with that light to then illuminate some of the mobs, so the group can then attack and defeat them. Kind of interesting mechanic, and that mechanic continues onto the final boss. And once you have done that, you can still carry that light back to the beginning or to the middle of the dungeon and illuminate two side rooms, small side rooms that normally just look empty. And if you go into that room with that light that you hold, you have to wait a minute or two, and then all of a sudden, ghosts of a couple of the bosses you killed previously show up and are quite unhappy. So you have to defeat them again, and then you get the achievement. It's an achievement that has a quite unique mechanic, because you need to do a special thing, as in run back through the dungeon, and you need to use the light that you normally cannot use outside the final area of it until you defeated the final boss. So it's like 3 or 4 requirements you need to have tagged off before you can do this achievement. And I too had to watch a video and look at Wowhead to see how this thing...
It's almost like doing homework.
Oh yes, definitely. There are quite a few of those where it seems clear, but then it's so mysteriously worded. It says here, illuminate and free the Spectre of Vengeance. That's all it says.
Right.
So, yeah, where are they? How do I do it? And stuff like that. So, no time to waste is a achievement where you have to not kill certain mobs in the Archway, which is a dungeon in Suramar. You just have to run past them. And back in the day when Legion was current, you were aggroing them, so you had to, like, the healer had to keep you alive, and you had to drag them with you back to the boss. Now you can just walk by them. They won't aggro you if you are 120.
Right.
It just doesn't matter. It's so easy now, but it's just something that, yeah, back in the day it was kind of hard, and now it's, yeah. Then there is I'm not going to go through all of them. It's just there is one more where you just have to defeat Clean House, which requires you to defeat Costrix without any pools of Nightwell energy to expire. So what you just do is you basically kill him very fast, so the pools don't expire before he's dead. And it's just quite a few interesting mechanics that you just, 3 of them I just got because I killed the bosses as fast as I could, so the mechanics didn't set in, and thereby it just, the achievement just pops. So yeah, and with the other one, let me see, where am I? Yeah, like I said, my progress is now doing the next mythic dungeon, Natharian's Lair in High Mountain, and then I should be ready to run into the second raid of the expansion, which is the Nighthold. That is the raid in Suramar, and that is one of the reasons why I started to quest in Suramar, because I am not sure. I still am not sure. There are things that I need to unlock to be able to properly do stuff. So if you, as you know, you didn't do the masquerade stuff, so you can't do the other things, like you said. So I'm not sure if there is anything in the Nighthold that needs
Well, I've done the masquerade, and now I am breaking the seal. So I think there's a whole bunch of other things that I need to do to get Shala-Ran up and running.
Yeah, right.
And
I feel like same thing is for me. I'm beyond the stage of the Good Samaritan, and which is the first meta achievement, or the first achievement, and but then the second part starts. That is not required for you, but might be requirement for the raid. So that's why I'm thinking I'm going to be on the safe side, and I'll just quest through it, and then I'm done with that. So I'm done with the normal questing, the 7.01, and now I'm starting with the attack on the Suramar city and all that stuff. Also, I started questing in August because why not?
Right.
And I want my characters to be able to, or my followers, my champions, to be able to produce tokens, rep tokens. And that can only be done once they reach a certain stage, a certain item level threshold. That's when the quests that reward rep tokens set in. And the fastest way to get to a high, quote-unquote, high item level is to use the tokens that the Argus quest chain rewards. So going there, doing that, and then finishing it that way, rather than going to 5 and 10 and 15 item levels per upgrade from 760. I'll just put one token on them and it's bumping them up to 900.
Right.
So you can see that that's quite a bit faster. And I only need to collect 6 of those tokens for 6 of my champions to then get the next bunch for the next higher item level. But okay, that's my rogue and her balance of power progress. The other things that I've talked about was the challenges, and I'll have a few challenges in the works at the moment. I have 2 Green Man tunes.
Oh, nice.
One is a Dark Iron Shaman. She is level 28 at the moment.
Which means they can't die, but they can use green items.
Correct. The same rules as Iron Man, with the exception of the gear quality that is green instead of white maximum. My Tauren Shaman is level 19. Both of them will be played throughout death because they both will unlock their respective heritage armor eventually. So there is that secondary motive to get them to max level to get the heritage armor. Much like my Sindorai hunter that has died, unfortunately, a week and a half ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry. She died at level 35, but I talked about that last week already.
Right.
And she is now level 59. So she is in Hellfire Peninsula and is skinning her way to level 60. All 3 of the tunes are stream exclusive. I'm only going to level them on stream.
Oh, that's nice.
My Iron Man, the latest Iron Man, she is a gnome hunter, and she just dinged level 30 just before we started streaming today. And my newest creation, so to speak, the gnome hunter, is quite old character. She is a character that was created back in Legion, and she has been benched for a while. So at my other tune, like I said, my latest creation is a Bloodthirsty. My one and only Bloodthirsty at the moment. She is a Sindorai hunter, and she yesterday reached level 11.
Oh, interesting.
And that's almost it for me for this week. Sorry. And one more thing, though. I would like to announce what I couldn't announce last week.
Right? Ooh, dun-da-da, dun-da-dun-da-da.
I will be guesting on the WoW Challenges podcast.
Oh, nice.
This coming Saturday. Saturday.
Awesome.
August the 3rd.
Oh, good. Say hello to Stone and Lita for us.
Stone isn't there anymore, but I'll say hello to Lita.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Chris is going to co-host.
Oh.
So that's going to be really fun.
Chris Real? Or this is a different Chris?
So I'm really looking forward to that. And if you would like to join us, be our guest, it's twitch.tv WoW challenges. We'll start at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay.
And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Last Saturday, there was Turwinkle, John, and Zords, and it was just awesome fun. Yeah, and that's been my week.
Awesome. All right.
Can we take a 2-minute break? And
Definitely.
I guess it's time for email now.
Email sex?
Email. Email.
La data.
You've got mail. Who's next? I'm addicted to you, baby.
Lovely little email. Right. Hello, everyone. I can't believe that it's almost August. Summer is going way too fast. Here are my audios and the blast from the past for this week. Our blast from the past is from episode 380. Enjoy. All right, let's listen to Kyle's week, and I'm excited. I love hearing from Kyle, but it's even more special when we get to hear about his week.
Hello, Control. Well, Kyle here. Well, I completed one of my major accomplishments this week, and that was to unlock flying in Zandalar and all the new content areas. So, yeah, it was, I don't know, it wasn't really that bad. I mean, it did take some time, but I don't know, I really love the Mechagon Isle, and I actually love the collaboration of the community, how, people in general chat would call out when rares would spawn, and there's just a lot of working together in Mechagon Isle. So that was really fun. I enjoyed that. And then for the Najatar, I just basically focused on doing the emissary quests. So whenever the emissary came up and you do the 4 world quests and turn that in, I basically just focused on that. And when I was doing those, I also worked on the dailies. So that was mostly what I did. And I can't estimate how long it took me in total. Maybe it took me like 3 weeks or so because I was going casual paced. But yeah, so now I can fly, and that is so awesome. The other thing I've been doing, and it's kind of a weird tangent story, but so I had this inspiration when I was working on Mechagon Isle. I was chatting with the NPCs and chatting with the goblins, and then I had the thing in the back of my mind going, gosh, I really want to play a goblin race right now. So I go through the back of my head of what classes or whatever do I have that's a goblin, and pretty much the only one I have or that's significant is my hunter on Earthen Ring. So, I've talked about how I was kind of not so hot about hunters before, but I hopped onto my hunter and I've just been going away with it. I've actually been having a lot of fun. I'm just having fun. I'm enjoying the class. I'm enjoying the goblin race. And I think I went somewhere from like 67 or something to 74-ish, something like that. I don't know. I'm just cruising around in Northrend. So that's pretty much been my week. Just working on that. Somehow just got the spark to go on my hunter, and I'm just going with it. I'm still working on, there's a new quest every day in the Mechagon Isle that, if I remember right, works toward getting you a new mount. I don't know, I have to double check Wowhead. But yeah, so I've been working on that. I think I'm nearing the end of that quest chain. So yeah, that's been my week. Hope you all had a good one, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Blast from the Past. Take care, everybody.
Excellent, Kyle. I mean, that's all it's about. It's about having fun. I mean, sometimes when I listen to, Constructs and Grand Negus, and I feel like I'm not doing as much as they're doing, that's not important. What is important is that you're having fun. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sounds like you're having fun. All right.
It's like we always say, it's your $15. You play the way you want
to. Right. And it's great because there was a time when people would criticize. I mean,
oh yeah.
How about the whole what was that? Add-on repeat? No, wait, what was the add-on?
You're talking about gear score.
Huh?
Gear score.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
And then you'd have this whole thing about, oh, you're not doing enough XP. Well, that's not important now. What's important is that as long as you're playing and having your fun,
yep.
And that's what matters. And there's so much to do now. I mean, there's so many ways to play. And speaking of which, let's listen to The Blast from the Past.
Let's do it.
So my luck for another week has not been good. So I have added nothing to my Need a Bigger Bag achievement. However, I will say this. There comes a time that when you're doing something that you really, really want, I want this achievement has now turned into so badly that I want to do it because I want to prove to RNG that I will get it, that it's now turned into an obsession. So this killing and looting is, and I love killing and looting. Okay. I'm used to grinding. I'm used to grinding rep. I'm used to all of that. I've done some terribly hard achievements, and this one is right up there because RNG is cruel. Now, my death adders, I've killed so far 1,859 of them. Now, I need to kill them because I need the Imperial Python to spawn. It's the only way I can get this pet, okay? So I have to kill these things over and over and over to get this Python to spawn to hopefully then drop the pet. Now, I've only had 58 kills on the Imperial Python. So as you can see, the spawn rate has been terrible. And not only that, is that when it spawns, and this has been my luck for the last couple of days, that I will be north. I'll be up north somewhere, killing the death adders to, up towards where Archie the Flame area spawns there. And someone goes, Imperial Python's up, and it's right down the bottom.
Of course.
So I go on my way, and I get there, and they've already killed it. So, so the spawn rate is not an individual thing. It spawns, and anyone can hit it. So I've not had a huge amount of luck, but as I said, one thing I am very determined or stubborn, whichever you can take it, whichever way you want to go, but I will get this achievement. I don't care what it takes, even if it's like another 3 expansions time. You'll be like, Leader, are you still on time, Missile? Like, yes. I got to 100 killing death adders.
The only one out there.
Exactly.
I've killed 7 million death adders.
Exactly.
And of course, the other thing I'm doing is Hearthstone. So I've been having fun with that. And
good.
It's not something I do regularly. It's only when I go out on the porch. I mean, on the balcony. The balcony. They did a good job with it. I brought 2 packs once.
Yeah.
But that's it. I've mostly been trying to win games and get enough gold up. And it's really nice when you win. And of course, I've had a couple of people commit seppuku. And I imagine, every time it happens, I'm imagining, Timmy! Get in here! Supper's ready! And do you communicate with the people you're playing with?
I don't.
Okay. I have gotten find people that say I'm sorry, or sometimes if somebody's particularly clever, I try to do, what's the one, great move or good move.
Yeah. I never know whether it comes because sometimes I can't tell if it comes across as you're being snarky or genuine. Yeah. So I just don't say anything at all.
I had that one time where a guy, well, I assume it's a guy, could have been a girl, but I got the nice move.
Yeah.
And I thought, and I hadn't played anything hugely fantastic. And then they kind of went, wham, 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 you're dead. So the way
so that was probably snarky.
Was some snarky, sarcastic, like, oh, is that all you've got? Well, here, take this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
So what I'm wondering is, I don't know if you remember this from, I'm going to date myself with this, but we used to have these things called pagers before there were cell phones. And the whole idea was you would put in your number and you would look at it and you would call that number back, which was crazy because somebody would put in there, you would call up a number. Just, I guess I should explain it because, there might be people who don't know what a pager is.
That's right.
You put in your number, you call this number, and you put in a number, and the number would be the number to this little plastic box that most people had clicked at their waist. And then somewhere where that person was, your number would show up. But here's the kicker. Now this person had to find a phone.
Right.
Like a pay phone. Or go to somebody's.
I was doing that. My boss paged me and I had to pull over at a freaking pay phone.
Right. and sometimes they would be available, or sometimes you'd have to wait. I remember having 5 pay phones on the station. Now there's one. They took out 4 of them. And sometimes people would be on them and you'd be like, you want to use the phone. So anyways, to make it easier, somebody developed a little book that instead of putting your number in, you would put in a series of numbers that would correspond with what was in the book. Do you remember those? Mm-hmm. They were little small, like pocket-sized books. So like, I'm home would be 243.
Okay. It's kind of like flag signals on the ship.
Yes. So I'm wondering if anybody would come up with a way on Hearthstone to do a series of, that would signal some kind of information. Yeah, shorthand. Because obviously, there's no chat feature. And I don't know if that's for a reason, for bandwidth, for to avoid being hacked. But, this is the only game I've ever been where I'm playing against a human being. And you
can't really talk to them.
I can't really talk to them.
And this is from Rodman. So they say, hi all. I just started listening to the podcast a few weeks ago. I usually listen while I'm at work. I really like listening to you all discuss your weeks in WoW. I listened to a few other podcasts throughout the week, but I enjoyed yours the most. Aw, isn't that sweet?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What I like most is the excitement and joy you all have with the game. You play the game for the reason it was made, to have fun. While others are out there stressing out over the game, min-maxing their character and raging at people in Battlegrounds or LFR, you all just play the game your way and have fun with it. This is true. This is very, very true. Yes.
And we're the people that people rage at.
Exactly.
What do you have a fishing pole for?
Yes. Anyway, since you all have plenty of alts and have probably played through most of the starting zones, which one is your favorite? Ooh, a question. Are we going to, do you want to answer the question first or will I finish the email?
Okay. I think we should answer it first because if we wait till the end, I mean, that's the nice thing about emails. That's, we have to wait till the end on the audio, but
yeah.
I like the orc starting area. I don't know why, but I've always had a weakness for this. And versus the new starting area, the goblin was fun but frenetic, and I really liked the pace of the monks. What about you, Lita?
Oh, that's really, really tough. I mean, I did the Durotar on my chamois just recently, which was cool to see again, but I don't know, there's something just about starting over at Death Knell, where I'm an undead girl at heart. So I love the darkness, the feel of that place. I don't mind spiders. I will fully admit that. So yeah, I think it would have to be over at the undead starting zone, definitely.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Granddad disagrees with you. Yeah.
And I have to say, I loathe the goblin starting area. I loathe it. Hate it.
It was fun the first time.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I don't like the zones where they do. I understand the panda zone, because you're neutral. You're not anything until you finish and then you pick a side. So understandably, but for the goblins, you kind of just want to go, well, hang on. If you're rep grinding, you can't get out of there until you've.
That's exactly it. I don't like,
and that's annoying.
The Worgen is a little bit the same way. You can't choose to go anywhere else until you've gone through that entire storyline, the quest line. But my favorites, I think, are the dwarfs and the blood elves. I like those areas, and they're so different. The dwarf area is snowy and rocky and everything, and caves, and the blood elves are lush and green and everything. But those are the two I like the best.
Yeah, and there are just a few areas in the goblin that is so hard if you make a mistake. Like if you don't keep your rocket boots on in that one little area where you have to go after those gangsters and you have that, then you're going to just die over and over and over again.
Yep. And then there's when you have to go in and steal the artworks from Galliwick and you just keep getting spotted. It's like, the only way to get through it is like really hide in the corners and everything. It just takes forever and I'm just not a patient person.
Right. And like she said, it's fun the first time, but afterwards it gets to be... Our next email is from Big Hearth. And Big Hearth writes, the title is First Hearthstone Segment. Now, I felt a little funny posting this because didn't somebody else think they wanted to do a segment on Hearthstone? So if that person still wanted to do it, they can do it. But we have someone here who says First Hearthstone Segment, Big Hearth.
I think it was Big G, and I know
I was trying to make that a surprise.
Well, you needed to clue us in off air.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
I was just like, isn't it BG?
I was going to make this whole big thing, and then, but still, it is Big G, I think.
Okay.
I thought it was funny that he used a different name.
You're such a good actor that we just, we thought you were really concerned.
Yeah. So, Grand Negus makes this seem so easy, but it's not. This is hard, says Big Hearth. And let's listen to Big Hearth.
Good morning, and welcome to Big G's Hearth, segment sort of thing. This is me and my first, and hopefully of many basic Hearthstone tactics and basic tutorial and stuff like that for all these guys, and I'll be happy to receive emails and questions and stuff like that. So let's launch straight into it. At the start of your new Hearthstone, basically you have play, solo adventure, the arena. Play is where you can go and play both ranked and unranked matches. It's the main way that you rank up and get card decks is in the ranked match sort of thing. You have to reach at least level 20 to receive the card deck sort of thing, and you can also level up your cards in that area, and you can verse friends. Then you have solo adventure, which is the new thing that they've introduced since Curse of Nax, the last raid expansion, which is about a week ago or so. Here you have practice, where you get to practice against normal and expert decks sort of thing. I find this is a really easy way of unlocking all the decks that you need to play, because you only start off with a mage deck, and I find this is a really fast and easy way of unlocking the rest of the decks without actually versing any humans. And you also, if you have unlocked all the decks, you have access to Naxxramas, which is the new raid instance on Hearthstone, and clicking on that you have normal, which is your normal raid against the denizens of Naxxramas. Then you have a class challenge, which is a new thing they've brought in as well, which is there'll be 9 challenges in that, and it unlocks like each class you have, or each deck I should say. You'll get a random selection of cards. If you beat the challenge, you get a new card unlocked for that class. And the final thing's Heroic, which is basically a heroic version of the raid bosses sort of thing. So, yeah, that's basically the basic tutorial sort of thing of opening up and playing. Your first game that you play in play mode, you'll be taken through a tutorial sort of thing and unlock your first card. And yeah, that's basically all I've got to say this week. Next week I'll start on basic strats for your basic decks, and whatever other questions people have, I can be reached on bigghearth@gmail.com. I'll put I'll write it out in the email that I send this in on, so everyone knows, and hopefully everyone has questions and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll catch you all next week.
That was excellent. Oh my God, there was so much in that episode, so much about, playing the way you want to play. And the Big G Hearth thing was really great. Too bad he didn't continue it. Every once in a while I open up my Hearthstone, but my biggest problem is there's always so many decks open once you do get into it. It's still great, and I'm still glad that I've played Hearthstone because, I talked about the Magic the Gathering when I was growing up and not being able to play because it wasn't a girls' game. But Hearthstone is done very well. And Big G, if you ever want to read, to do that, let us know. Do you still play Hearthstone, right?
Not really. I dabbled in it the first period of time when it launched, and I think a couple of expansions in, but I think the last time I played it was when they had the second or third. Oh, yeah, like what he talked about, these solo adventures that started with the Curse of Naxxramas. Now you can basically play without buying any cards at all. You can just play the solo adventures.
Right.
The downside to it is that you don't keep, as far as I know, I'm not positive here, but I think that you just have to start over again and again. But you can theoretically play without buying cards, because you get cards as you progress in the challenge, in the play mode. You defeat a certain amount of bosses, and for each boss you defeat, your deck will get a certain amount of cards added to it that you can select out of 2 batches of 3 or whatnot. Cards, you can select the ones that you prefer, and that way your card deck gets built and to eventually be big enough and strong enough so you can defeat the next boss and the next boss and then the final boss. If you get a permanent reward for your Hearthstone game in the form of free packs, so to speak. I do not know, because I never succeeded in reaching let alone defeating the final boss. So yeah, again, but that's basically all I know about how one of the current ways to play the game is. So yeah, I mean, obviously you can go and buy packs.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's how you want to play.
No, but I'm just saying, for the people that don't want that, there is an alternative now. They've introduced that a couple of expansions ago, where you don't have to buy the game packs anymore. Just like I said, be aware that the game cards that you get while you run that dungeon or whatever it's called, they're not permanent. You basically lose them once you finish or abandon the game progress. It's wiped.
All right. We don't have, of course, we don't have an update because Construct's not here, but next week we should have 2 weeks worth. We do want to do a shout out to Construct for all he does to keep track of the updates. And a shout out to all the Guildie members. Just a reminder, if you want to play in Clan of Darkness or Ctrl Alt WoW on Nevercuff, just send us an email. And that's all it takes to be a part of the guild. Well, actually, on Nevercuff, you could just join. You just need to find an officer online and tell them that Cost sent you. All right, so I look like I'm opening some stuff and I'm figuring out stuff, although I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but I'm having fun.
That's what you do.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing. You're having fun.
Do.
And that's
right.
All it takes, basically.
Yes. Thank you, Blizzard, for making such a wonderful game that we can enjoy. And thank you, Grand Negus, for being here. Love your haircut. Thank you, chat room.
Thank you. Yeah. I like my hairdresser. She each time I get to, or another new quote unquote new hairdresser gets to do my hair. I get this little devil on my shoulder when they ask me, how would you like your hair cut? I said, well, just take it all off.
Right, that's the easiest thing.
Yeah, and she said, what? I said, take it all off. As in everything? Yeah, sure, everything. So like as much as you can. Take the machine and cut it all. Are you sure? Really? I said, yeah, really? This woman asked like 3 or 4 times. Are you absolute? And she held the machine to the side of my head. Are you really sure? And people were like almost people waiting in line, laughing. I said, yes, please.
Oops.
So, okay. It's your choice. So, yep, it is. So it was like, well.
So I am excited about this next week coming up. And in a couple of weeks, I'll be on vacation. I am 1,350 into 10,000 for Exalted, and then I'll get a Nightfall in cash.
You're in the Paragon levels now. You have that little bag at the indicator, the bag indicator. If you open your rep, that indicates that faction is Paragon level now, and so that means that once you get the 10,000, you get that special bag.
Right.
And you can have a mount in it. In the case of the Night Fallen, I think it's a flying carpet. I think.
Right.
So, and before we go, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our chat room.
Thank you, chat room.
We have Lost Cause, Matterhorn, one tired player, and the person that just came in about 15 minutes ago, Kyle. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle. Thank you for your submission. You're awesome.
Thank you very much for the participation, for the submission, for everyone that listens. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be back next Monday. Hopefully, Contracts will be with us. Happy anniversary.
Definitely.
And shout out to Baltimore. Love you. Love your seafood.
And if you a little something, if you haven't heard enough of me yet, you can tune in to the wowchallenges.com website and click on the link to their Twitch page or to the VOD or whatnot for next week's, I think it's 177 episode. I think, let me just quickly check it, that I don't tell something that is not true. 177, episode 177 is when I will be guesting on. So this coming Saturday, August, like Kyle said, it's August already.
It's incredible, yeah.
Yeah, August the 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
And you're also on another podcast, aren't you?
I'm also on Corpse Run Radio.
Yes.
And that episode 101 will be out in the next few days as well. I'm not sure if I'll get it ready for tomorrow, but it will definitely be out before the month's end. So probably have it out sometime early Wednesday. So so that.
Well, thanks everybody. Thanks Blizzard. Thanks Constructs. We missed you a lot, but we hope to hear from you next week. This is Aprillian for the Horde.
And this has been Grand Negus, Rule of Acquisition number 19. Satisfaction is not guaranteed. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, chat room.
Good show.